Hello everyone and welcome to Weekend Rental, episode 75. We are your gaming and geek culture podcast. My name, it's Ryan, and as always I'm joined by Andy.
Hey.
And Nate.
Hello everyone.
And if you enjoy our content, you can find all sorts of great geeky content, podcast articles, more over at geekade.com. What's your geek? Let's kick off episode 75. I just thought I would dive right into a topic that was relevant to me because I was in the bathroom. I was taking a piss and I was thinking, you know, what else? What else in the world might be micro? You know what? Game Gear Micro. Sega just announced it. It's coming out. It's small. It's cute. It's not for size queens, but, you know, it's probably going to find a home somewhere. What do you guys think about this?
This is the first I've heard of this. I was really focused on your micro penis first.
As you should be.
The imagery was something else.
What color is it?
Well, that's the beauty. It comes in 4 different colors. 4.
Is one flesh tone?
Sadly, no.
I'm like the Sega guy here, and seems like a very dumb idea.
Yeah. You know, the initial spoiler had me interested. I was like, sure, it's uncomfortable to play. It'll come loaded with a bunch of ROMs. It'll be cheap. And then you come to find out, no, they're $50 a piece. There's 4 of them, and they each only have 4 games unique to each of them. And then if you're a US gamer, about half of those games aren't playable to you, not knowing Japanese.
Right.
So I just don't understand there's a bundle for like $300 for all of them with a 5th one that's not playable and a screen magnifier attachment that seems ridiculous. And I'm just thinking like, who is buying this?
That screen magnifier I had to like check the date to make sure it wasn't like April 1st because I'm like,
right.
So they made something tiny and then they made something to make it big. Like what? Ugh.
But only big in scale. So it's still
Right.
tiny compared to the original Game Gear. It makes no sense. So if anyone's not familiar, basically it's the 60th anniversary of Sega. And so what they've decided to do to commemorate that is make a micro console of their ill-fated, albeit successful, I guess, Game Gear portable console, which is basically just a Master System in like portable form. So what they've done is they've shrunk it down to really small scale. I don't know, this is like a 1-inch screen. It fits in the palm of your hand. So it's already like questionable to play enjoyably. But then what they chose to do is have 4 color variants of the same console. And each color variant gets 4 ROMs that are emulated by M2. Granted, best possible scenario as far as emulation goes. But who's going to pony up $50 for something that's like the size of a Tamagotchi or a Joy-Con? Maybe a Joy-Con's a better representation.
Even then?
To play 4 ROMs. I don't know.
Like it wasn't longer than the hand.
No, it's tiny.
But they showed it, and it's smaller than the Game Boy Micro, I think.
Yeah, mono out, stereo output through earbuds. But again, who's doing this? Comes out in October in Japan.
This is a waste of energy, money, all of that stuff.
It really is.
Andy's going to buy all 4, but
I don't know. This seems really dumb.
Yeah, I can't get behind this one.
Why celebrate the 60th anniversary with that? That's the best that you could do.
That was like your crowning moment, like not the Dreamcast. No.
Well, I think Sega's just happy that they still exist after 60 years.
Yeah.
Given the last like 20 that they've gone through.
Yeah, all 2 employees.
There's at least 4, so they can each have 1 of the micro variants.
Right. They couldn't agree on a color, so it's like, all right, let's produce 1 for each.
Yeah. Well, and if you're basically like, if you're an English speaker, your color choices are limited to black. Because I think every game on there is playable. And then the blue has at least 3 of the 4 games that are playable in English. Everything else is like 50-50 or nothing.
What are some of the games on? Or what's on the list?
Gosh, I don't have the list in front of me, but I want to say like the Sonic game, the second Sonic game, again split over 2 handhelds.
Not on the same one.
Right, not on the same one. The one has a bunch of RPGs and it also has columns. So if you don't speak English, you get one game. Yeah, I don't know. It's not great. Plus, I just think of like, let's say you do speak Japanese, you're going to play an RPG. That's like reading the text on a Game Boy Micro. It's not pleasant.
With the magnifying glass, you're fine.
Oh, that's true.
Would the pixel even... It might be sub-pixel at that point, the text, you know?
Yeah? Yeah, because who knows the quality of the screen. That's true. I didn't even think about that.
I mean, that was the first thing I'm like, why not? Because those things, you look at like, you go on Alibaba, you can buy those like 2-inch screens for basically nothing, you know?
Right.
So I'm sure they were like, oh, let's just do this. But then they said the price. I'm like, what in the world are they thinking?
Yeah, that's the thing is like, even with 4 games, I could justify like $25.
Yeah.
But if they had just put like 30 games on there and said it was $40, sure, I can deal with that. But let's be honest, like you're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel with the Game Gear anyway, as far as library and quality games. I mean, it was very adept for its time, but like not a lot of people have nostalgia for those games.
No, I mean, there's nothing really unique to it either, you know? It's so forgettable.
Right. Yeah, it was like home to like downgraded versions of 16-bit games, which looked great because, you know, in countries like, well, overseas in UK where the Master System was much more popular, like those games had a life. But
yeah, we finally got some that we didn't get on Master System on Game Gear, so that was cool.
Right.
But yeah. And some of these on here, like the Shin Megami games that never came over here, would be cool if they were in English, but they're not going to be.
Which is a bummer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's... What a weird thing to decide to do.
Yeah. And there's no US or Western release announced at this point. In its current incarnation, I can't see it probably getting one, but
no,
who knows? I'm sure there will be a Sega diehard to import this, but I think even like as an avid retro collector, you'd have to have a real sweet spot for Sega or the Game Gear to want to do this. Just, I don't see the appeal.
No. They got to make a Dreamcast at some point, right?
I mean, I hope. Not a micro, maybe.
No. A mini.
A mini.
Just want an average sized Dreamcast. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we all dream about, right? Average. Speaking of micros, though, well, not micros, but minis. My mini TurboGrafx arrived last Friday along with Nate's.
Yeah, it did.
Amazon did a wonderful job of putting it in an oversized cardboard box with no packing peanuts or wrap. And
as you do.
Just put them both in there. So that was great. Thank you, Amazon. Packaging looks great. Presentation looks great. It is way too big for a mini in proportion to every other mini
it's
console.
Almost full size.
Yeah, it's stupid. I hate it.
Not
like,
too
why
far
not
off of full size.
Yeah, I don't get it. And that's all I can tell you about it, because even though I ordered it July of last year, the 16th of last year, and got it this year, almost a year later, the anticipation has just not got to me, and I just have not. It's sitting right here. I haven't hooked it up. It's a thing. Nate?
Mine hasn't even exited the box yet.
Yeah.
I hate saying that. I was very, very excited about it, but just time and everything going on, I haven't been able to check it out. So I have this really cool box, and I was like, all right, my son, he might be interested in something like this. Maybe I can get him excited about it. So I go downstairs. I was like, hey, bud, got a new system. You want to check it out? And he's like, nah, I'm going to play Fortnite. I was like,
oh, no.
You told him I played Fortnite, man. No, TurboGrafx 16
good.
version of Fortnite's the best.
Yeah, this is the
then
new
just put on
Fortnite
like
machine.
blazing lasers. Deal with it.
Yeah, he did not give two craps about that. But I'm still very excited about it. Just haven't opened it. And maybe I'll...
Yeah.
I think you and I were texting, and you're like, have you opened it? And that was on Monday. And I was like, I'm going to. Today's the day. And it didn't happen.
Yeah, you know, and I I have an EverDrive, so like to me, the PC Engine and like TurboGrafx like card games are not. I've played most of them. If they're notable, I've played them for sure. But with the addition of this TurboGrafx Mini and the fact that it will do the Super Graphics games and the CD games, knowing that I probably already can. I haven't looked that much into it. Hack it and add those games and play them and get them in my library without spending ridiculous amounts of money or fucking around with a mister is kind of appealing. So once I get around to it, I mean, I love the TurboGrafx 16. I think like once I started collecting, like that was one of my holy grails. I stumbled across mine dirt cheap, just really lucky on a guy who was desperate and wanted to make some like beer money several years ago. And I think I appreciate playing that more than I enjoy pretty much every other retro console in my collection, including the NES, just because there's so much good stuff on it that you never experienced or heard about as a kid. So like you get to load up all these ROMs or put in all these like Hue cards, and they're great games. So I'm glad that more people are getting to experience it through this Mini. Sadly, though, I think it's mostly just collectors like us who already had an idea, since it's not on store shelves, and the price point is $100, which is it's a lot.
Hefty.
Fuck you, Konami. Make some
Definitely
pachinko.
hefty.
Yeah. Seems like it probably won't happen to just be some random people being like, "Oh, this is cool. I'll try this,"
Right. This thing got recommended to me on Amazon. Also, it says I should buy these butt plugs. Well, let me click on that. That's what happens. People get distracted.
Now we need to see what the also purchased is with that.
Yes. Anything with turbo. It's a wide range.
I have to bring this up a little bit just because my wife and I we were talking about diets, and I know this is a terrible segue, but I was just kind of thinking of it. So my wife has been talking a lot about diets, and we're expecting a baby, and every time we have a child, I gain a ton of weight. I'm the one that gains the weight, and it just was one of those weird moments that I was reading an article today on Gaming News, and the headline was gamers are more likely to be obese than human beings that are active, which I think is pretty hilarious. One, just that's a terrible line, but they've been putting a lot of studies that college age men that like playing video games are going to be overweight and heavier than those being active playing sports. I think it's super ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, why are you wasting your time on a study like that?
I mean, can I just like pause you for a second and like gaining weight as a male through pregnancy? I think you store most of that in your testicles because they're largely unused. I mean, you can attribute 5 to 10 pounds. I'm just saying. It's not your fault.
So
it's not your diet.
when I go to the doctor and they're like, "Man, you've been gaining some pounds," be like, "In my nuts, you know how it is."
You mean I shouldn't be kicking my testicles down the street as I walk? Yes, sir. That's not normal.
That's not normal.
Is the blue normal?
Weird.
Well, depends.
The color's normal.
You
yeah,
cold?
for sure.
Right.
Yeah, so they're really pressing into this that that classic tying video games to obesity, just like they tie in video games to violence, and
I mean,
all of those things, that trying to make those excuses, I guess.
There's always that comparison, right? Like there's always like video games lead to X video games, but I think what a video gamer is and a person who plays video games is now so diverse that yes, there is the pocket of people who live only to sit behind a computer screen and that is unhealthy for them. But there are plenty of us, for example, not that we're a pinnacle of health, all of us, but I mean, we have kids, we're busy, we're going to work, we're doing things, we're working out if we can. But we also game, but then there's certainly jocks, people who put way more time in the gym than we do just to justify an hour of whatever game a night, maybe a Fortnite. So I don't know. I think those studies like these days are so hard to pinpoint because I think you could classify, 80% of like first world countries as gamers, right?
Right.
I don't think it's a stretch.
And and where does that go too? Like, what do you classify as a gamer? Somebody who opens up, a match 3 game on their phone for 20 minutes,
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. My wife is Beat Sabering right now. I blame it on. So.
That must have been who I saw on PS4 the other night.
Yeah.
Booted in, it was like, Andy, Beat Saber. I'm like, I know what's going on over there.
Yeah, she's been on it.
She's giving
an
arm workout, huh?
Yeah. She's beating all my scores.
God damn. Yeah. How can you live with yourself as a man?
I know.
A week. So do you think because I'm a gamer, a video game player, and my wife's pregnant, that I'm going to be ultra hefty if the study is correct?
No. I mean, out of all of you said was video gamer, my wife's pregnant, and hefty. So I'm just going to assume you asked if we thought you were going to get hefty because you're a video gamer and your wife's pregnant. I'm going to go with no. I don't think it's going to happen. Are you sure?
Maybe we need to take a bet.
I mean, I don't know. It's harder, right? Because, God, I mean, my wife and I just had the 2 kids, and my kids are going to be 9 and 7. But like, yeah, I know, especially during like the second pregnancy, like my wife really it was during summer. She didn't want to do anything. Being outside pissed her off. Everything pissed her off. Being hot outside pissed her off a lot. And we didn't do much, and I know I gained weight. So certainly, I think there's something to be said for that. I don't think the fact that you're a gamer has anything to do with that. I think the fact that you impregnated a woman who's having a child that she's carrying to fruition is probably the ultimate cause of that. So
I know I definitely gained like 10 or 15 on the last one.
Yeah. I remember it was our first child. This was 10 years ago. And I went into my doctor's appointment, like my yearly. And when you step on the scale and the doctors go, oof, that's never a good sign. Like your bedside manners aren't great. And so I step on and he's like, oof. It's like your wife's pregnant or something. And he didn't know my wife was pregnant. And I was like, oh, she is. And he's like, okay.
Wow.
We gained a few pounds here and there. And I was like, okay, buddy.
Find a new fucking doctor at that point.
Yeah. Oof. So.
Wow. Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah, I'd say like the pregnancy has everything to do with that situation and very little to do with the fact that you're a gamer.
I'm trying to blame things so I can I'm
going to send you an entire crate of Swiss rolls from Little Debbie.
Oh, I will smear those all over my body.
I noticed that was a instead of a oof. So
yeah, it's definitely not a oof. Actually, so we had an intern at my office and she just finished up and she gave me a gift of Little Debbie's, a box of Twinkies. So I don't know, like most people would probably be offended by it, but I was like, oh, I would hire you. And so I forgot that the Twinkies were in my truck and I've been driving around town with boxes of Twinkies, and my wife drove my truck and she goes, Nate, there's what looks like to be a crate of Twinkies in the back of your truck. Do you care to explain where they came from? How many? And I have, like, when you're driving, you're just reaching back and you're like, oh, here's one. And then you eat it and then you leave the wrapper.
Nice.
There was wrappers and so many
yeah,
Twinkies. Man.
This is the apocalypse.
But I was having a good time.
Heck yeah.
I still have a lot of Twinkies left over, though.
Just because you love Twinkie doesn't make you a twink. I'm just saying. So
I had so many Twinkies.
Good.
Next to my Chinese food going bad that I left in my truck in the heat. And it smelled like sweet and sour poop chicken. It wasn't good. Mixed with Twinkie wrappers. I was a mess. It wasn't my best time a couple weeks ago. I hit an all-time low. COVID, depression, and all.
Oh man.
Speaking of COVID, I know we hate talking about it. Numbers are declining. That's all great. One of the interesting things with COVID is all this graduation and everyone making this big deal about high school, college graduations. There were a ton of celebrities doing things, for graduations, all of that stuff. And now they have created, there was a girl that just felt like she was missing out and decided to make her graduation on Animal Crossing. So she put together this whole graduation setup, the look and all of that stuff, invited all her friends, and they did a graduation ceremony via Animal Crossing.
That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of weddings in Animal Crossing before too. And also
Weddings?
like WoW and games like that. So
Huh.
smart. It's the hottest game right now.
It is.
Plus those beat prices. You get to the wedding, sell them beats.
I still have not played an Animal Crossing. I will never.
I kind of wonder how that goes though, because I've heard like connecting to someone else's island is kind of a horrendous nightmare in
So are
game with that
graduation
game.
parties though too. So
Oh, okay, that's fair. Yeah.
It's no different.
Yeah. I just like, can I just be the antisocial asshole that I am? And like,
Go for
I
it.
hear about all these people like complaining about, school got cut short. We didn't even get a real graduation to say goodbye to our friends for the last time. And I'm just like, fuck that. Like, I'd have been like, hello, I don't have to say goodbye to you assholes anymore. Like, never going to see you again. Hope your life sucks. Like, that was my
I was the
high
same.
school graduation
Get me
experience.
out. Yeah.
I wouldn't have needed Animal Crossing to like wish a fond farewell. I'd have been like,
I don't need a
outta
speech
here.
from Oprah Winfrey. I don't need Katy Perry singing me a graduation song.
right.
I just wanted
Yeah.
to be done.
yeah.
Don't need to pick class. Yeah.
High school graduation is the first day of the rest of your entire life. None of it before
Preach.
mattered. PSA
Hashtag
kids.
preach.
Down
Okay.
here they had ones called drive-by graduations, which sounded terrible.
They
With
shot
guns.
a bunch of kids. There's a lot
Oh
of
my
cats.
gosh.
Bloodshed.
Like drive-through sounds way better. Please use that terminology. Not
Drive-by graduation. Whip your gat out. Let them have it. Bust a cap.
here's what life
Yeah.
is.
Here's a graduation you'll remember.
Well, I think back to my high school graduation, just like how 100% disposable that was. Like, yeah, I remember it. Like, I went through it. I got my thing, but like, it's such not an accomplishment. Like, I don't know. In the grand scheme of things, like it probably means a lot to certain people who are 18 and graduating, but like I would say to the vast majority of people who are 18 and graduating, it doesn't register on the give a shit's radar.
No.
But
Well, it used to.
gets better.
I mean, now
gets
the
better,
bar is
everyone.
raised, where it's like you're just expected to go to college for the most part. So it's just
Yeah.
kind of like,
I felt like I was in that position when I graduated. Even like it didn't occur to me that like people just didn't. And then I married my wife, who like she's one of 3 who actually got a 4-year degree. So like
Yeah.
I just didn't see it as not an option. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, you drink for 2 years of it. You go to school for the other 2. It's all right. You pay a lot of money.
yeah. Use the federal loan for your beer, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm still paying that shit. So talk to me in 12 years when it's done. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and there's like, gosh, could you imagine graduating now? Like the people that we are into games and all this stuff, and like being able to just be like, I could go to college, or I could just like sit in my bedroom basement of my parents' house and just maybe Twitch stream and see if I get like 1 million followers and could be the next ninja. Like I'd devote 18 months to that.
Every day.
You had half of a school year to already start that.
Exactly.
I got nothing going on.
If it doesn't
Might
work
as
out,
well
you
do some
enroll
Twitch.
next semester.
You had to
Class
figure
of
out the
2023.
you had to figure out the equipment already.
Right. It's unfair. It's unfair, I tell you. I had to deal with Nesticle. Fucking Harry Paulsack on my desktop in college. It's bullshit.
That was the best one.
It was
Awesome.
the best one. I love that they made it a ball sack too. Like, it's great. Ugh.
Yeah, man.
God, we're old. Like, emulation was a brand new thing. They put balls on your desktop. It's amazing. Yeah. I mean, that's cool, though. Like, I love that people, like, find creative ways, like Animal Crossing, to make that stuff happen this day and age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A follow-up to our last feel-good story. Did you hear that grandma was, like, quitting?
Oh, really?
No.
She, like, rage quit? Like, couldn't deal with it, or what?
Well, like, everybody started, like, harassing her. So she's like, I'm leaving. Like,
Oh no.
Yeah, she doesn't need that shit.
yeah.
She's got to catch chlamydia for the 10th time from
Wait,
staying
which
down
lady?
the hall.
Which lady are we talking about? The one that had like many thousands of hours in Animal Crossing, or the 90-something-year-old? Was which one?
Uh-huh.
The 90-year-old or the?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're happy,
Bummer.
Grandma.
Yep.
That's my girl. Leave her alone.
Sorry. Well, we're going
Leave
to, apparently.
her alone.
You know what someone didn't leave alone, though?
Tell me.
Someone found a unreleased ROM of Days of Thunder for the NES. I know what you're thinking. I'm an NES collector. I have that game. It's horseshit. It's a terrible game. But they found one that was completely built, ready to go, and Mindscape just scrapped it. Didn't get released. I don't know if you guys have seen this at all. The Video Game History Foundation put some stuff out. There are, of course, some people packaging it and selling it as like a physical release for like way too much, like $70, like box and everything. It's so much. Not going to do it. But I will say it looks like a much better Days of Thunder game. So you like, it's got the opening segment. It's got some like kind of butt music at the beginning. But then you go into the qualifying lap. You're in the cockpit. Dashboard looks great. You go around the lap, you qualify, and then it goes into like an overworld, almost, I'm not going to say like super sprint or anything, but like you're a small car on a big track with like a bunch of dudes racing. You can actually see what's going on. You can control your cockpit, like tire changes, gas refill, get back in there. It looks like a much better game than what we got on the NES, where you're all just behind the wheel. The NES wasn't made for that. It looks like shit. I don't know why this wasn't the version that we all got, because I kind of want to play it.
Why did they call it Days of Thunder then? And still release Days of Thunder?
Well, because I think they had two different people work on it, and they weren't happy with this guy's product, so they scrapped it and went with somebody else's.
So they went with the crappier one.
It appears so.
I'm sure Tom Cruise had the decision. He was like, no, this one.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah. It looks like it's one of those NES games where it's like it's broken up into like mini games, right? It's like it's almost like a Captain Skyhawk, where you've got the certain segments that are behind. You got the spaceship segment. You've got the in-game segment. That's what it feels like, but for NASCAR. I really wish I'd gotten to see this instead of what I owned for Days of Thunder, because I don't think that's a good game.
Man.
So the picture I saw, it was all on floppies. Is that right?
Yeah, 40 floppies. They had to like compile back together and like build. So
That's amazing.
They had the source code and they had to make it work.
It's crazy that 40 floppies worked.
Well, that's true too. Yeah.
That's
No
also a miracle.
Wow.
My one floppy doesn't work.
Your micro?
Yeah, I don't know. I probably wouldn't be excited about this, except I like what I saw so much better than what we experienced, like retail. So it's cool. I mean, the fact that you can find like undiscovered stuff like this, and the fact that somebody, like a group of people, took time to reassemble it is kind of huge.
Did you know they made a PS3 game?
Who?
Of Days of Thunder PS3 game?
Why?
What?
Exactly.
Why?
It looks bad.
I really have to see this.
I would imagine it does. Is Tom Cruise in it?
I don't know. I know it was one of those deals that you got the movie with it too. It was weird.
Oh, yeah, that's strange. It's like I have a Star Trek game, or not game, but Star Trek Blu-ray that comes with an Xbox One playable demo of some game.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, it's interesting. Oh, I should also correct, for anyone who's listening and listened to our last podcast and got mad at me. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, $40. The deluxe edition with the skateboard is $100. And I said 60 because that's what a skateboard deck costs. But it's what I meant was you're spending $100, but a skateboard deck would cost you 60 anyway. So
okay.
Yes. For anyone who gave a shit, no one. That is now clear. So.
Because the emails were rolling in. I checked that.
Twitter was on fire.
And man, talk about trending. It was insane.
Reddit.
The emails coming in like, Ryan, you don't even know.
Ryan doesn't know the Tony Hawks. Dude doesn't even know what an ollie is.
Yeah, you don't even know what a skateboard deck costs. Come on.
Yeah. God,
do a kick flip. Do a kick flip.
I can't.
Do a revert.
Do a 720 Japan Air.
You can do a revert. Make it happen. Yeah.
I'm glad the air is clear. Thank you for doing that. You really, really stepped out.
Yep. Sorry.
We expect better.
Gosh. I'm going to hold myself to a higher standard. I'm going to keep myself on top of gaming and keep myself straight.
I expect better of PlayStation Plus.
Why?
Oh.
So like last month they had, what was it? City building game and a farming game. Like two like simulation nerdy games in the same.
Well, and they paid full price for the one on Switch. So.
Why does it always come back up? And like, can we just?
We could have got it for free.
It comes 60. Up like my crops right now. Like, just leave it alone. Every time you're like, you know who did pay for an overpriced game? This guy did.
You're not happy with this month?
Not necessarily that I'm not happy, but it's again the same genre. You know, it's both a shooter, and it's like mix it up a little bit.
Because what are we getting? We're getting Modern Warfare 2 remastered, right? Whatever it was. That was already free. Yeah.
Is it that one? I thought it was World War II.
Oh, there you go. Yep, that's the one.
And then Battlefront 2. So
but Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah, they're still a shooter though.
I don't know. I kind of I'm not upset about Star Wars Battlefront 2 because I liked the first one enough that I was interested to buy it when it was like $6. And I'm also interested enough in this one to not pay for it, but play it.
Yeah.
Which is a glowing review. So I don't know. I'm not too upset. I kind of want it.
I mean, that's what I went and paused the download too. It was Star Wars. Yeah. So,
I hate this game. Let me pause the download.
it's more the variety. Like if they would have done the city game and Call of Duty and then, you know, farming game and this audience. One, it's like, yeah, I don't know. You look at Game Pass and it's like, what are these guys doing over here? You know,
they're running out of options right now.
Yeah, that's kind of true. I don't know though. Like I look at like Epic Game Store and they have like their mega sale going on right now. And it was like every game they gave away for free over the last 6 months. I'm like, why would I buy any of these? You gave them all to me. This is dumb. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm just glad they're doing like 2 full, like what I consider like, you know, retail releases for $60. Because for a while after they cut that 3 games down to 2, and we were still getting like 1 in an indie. Like I just didn't see the value as much.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I don't know who's playing Modern Warfare anymore. Or Call of Duty. I mean, not Modern Warfare, but Call of Duty World War II.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, at least they're giving you that information though, right? They could just tease information to you and then not give it.
True.
After announcing it was being given.
Yeah, pull it back.
Right. It's called Just the Tip.
Seems like they kind of did that with something else this week.
Yeah. It's supposed to be the 5th or the 4th or 5th, right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
They said it was coming. News was coming. Games are being announced. We're doing it. Now they're like, just kidding.
Yeah.
People need to be there for this, and they're not. Which I don't know if PlayStation's doing themselves any favors at this point. Like, I don't think Xbox has come out with anything substantial. I don't know that they've proven what they call quote unquote backwards compatibility is what they're truly picturing it to be, but also the PlayStation has no price, no real demos to speak of, like quote unquote, like actual gameplay demos, and very little in the way of announcements. Like I don't know what they could possibly be waiting for. Like they're coming out in less than 6 months, in theory.
I don't know why.
Well, they were talking about the price now.
They just don't want to upset like retailers or something and say people that have plans for this. Like any business would say don't release it yet, you know?
Yeah, or maybe they just don't want to push devs who like can't realistically meet the deadline now because of COVID. But you still need to have like, even if you don't have a game, give us like a in-house tech demo, something. Like there's been nothing. It's insane.
I think the article that came out a couple days ago, or maybe even it was today, where it was talking about the PlayStation pricing, and again, extremely vague. They haven't done anything. They haven't said anything except for that it's going to be a great value. The price is going to be probably higher than anticipated but it's going to be a great value for what you get, which we don't know what that even is. It's so ridiculous to not even. So Ryan, at the beginning of the year, we made a bet, and I might win.
I don't know. I feel like both consoles are going to come out at a substantial loss to their hardware manufacturers. I just feel like Sony's being they might be more quiet because they don't want to be the trendsetter and the price setter, because they can't afford, because they've been in that position where the price made them win and it made them lose. I just don't know if like maybe some of it is like they're keeping everything close to their chest because they're waiting for Microsoft to get that MSRP out there, and then they're going to match it. They're not going to exceed it. If they can absorb the loss, they're going to undercut it. I just don't see them. I don't see them going above like an absurd like price. If they go above 550, they're fucked. If they go above 500, I'm not interested, but 550 is like max.
Yeah, that's twice as much as the previous gen, you know?
Yeah.
That's a little rough.
I think it's still going to be high. I still think it's going to be over the 5 mark.
I think they'll absorb it. I mean, the way consoles always work is they always take the loss for the first few years or the entire run, depending on. I just think they'll bite the bullet to make it happen. They can't not. Plus, they don't have as like in-depth of hardware. Well, and that's the other thing is like, okay, don't show us the gameplay, but like show us the console build, right? Like give us the design. Like have they not even settled on that? That's the weird part.
Yeah.
Is that a variable? Like can they save $25 by like having it uglier and shittier and cheaper and
it's a 3D printed box.
Fuck yeah. It's a Ziploc bag with a HDMI port. I don't know. And that might be a consideration. I mean, Microsoft committed early on to what I consider a questionable design. I don't like it it's fine as a PC tower. I don't want it under my entertainment center. It probably wouldn't even fit under most. So maybe that's some of it. I don't know. It's just really disappointing because it was like, I felt like we were going to get the first solid glimpse at what the next PlayStation was. And now I don't know. I mean, it kind of leads to me like thinking that committing to this 2020 launch was a mistake. Like they should have just done spring or summer, like drop it at fucking E3, like announce it all at E3 next year, release it the week after. I mean, it's just not going to be a good launch for anybody.
It's like Apple making a new iPhone this year.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Like they usually do make something every year, and if they don't make one this year, they're going to do
the Pippin too. I think the market is ready for it.
Yeah, but I think if they saw that Apple couldn't do it, then they would be like, okay.
Yeah, well, that's true. I haven't heard anything, but
maybe they follow suit. But yeah, I don't know.
It's insane. I mean, I can't remember a console where it's been this shrouded in mystique.
Yeah, and there's not going to be any games for it either, so.
No. Last of Us 2 updated.
Yeah.
Well, oh my God, I can't believe they're committing to Last of Us 2 also. Just like in the most depressing of times. Like nobody wants to play that game right now. Like just delay it till like spring of next year.
Yep, just make it a PS5 game.
Right. Just like The Last of Us should have been a PS4 game.
Yeah.
You don't have to hang on to it. Look at Last Guardian. You just wait out 3 generations. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's done.
And lose your ass on it.
No, everybody loved that game.
I did, but yeah.
Did you
I
really?
don't think they made any money on it.
I've been waiting to find it for like $2 on a disc, and I haven't yet.
Yeah.
There was a game that came out, though, that was a big deal, kind of, called Minecraft Dungeons. Came out on Game Pass. It's like Diablo for Minecraft. The catch is you don't mine or craft anything.
No, bullshit.
You just kill a lot of stuff.
Oh, man.
From Minecraft.
What?
Yeah. It's like if Sesame Street made Diablo. Is kind of what I feel like Minecraft Dungeons is. I was going to buy it because my kids love Minecraft. As we've discussed, all of our kids, I think, enjoy Minecraft. And my kids had gotten excited about it. They saw it on like Jelly or some dipshit that they watch on YouTube. I mean, dipshit affectionately, but no, they're all terrible channels. But my kids love them. And then I realized it was on Game Pass. Of course it is, because it's Microsoft owned. So I put it on my PC, and my son has played through all of it, except for the last stage, which I heard is like brutally difficult, and he says he can't beat it. So I'm waiting to get another Xbox One controller because I only own one. So that's been a problem. And it doesn't let you do keyboard and controller, which is strange. But yeah, weird concept for a game. I mean, visually, it looks pretty. It looks as pretty as Minecraft stuff can. It is basically just Diablo. There's very little customization, though. There's this mechanic where you've got a ranged weapon, you've got a melee weapon. They're upgradable, and you can do different attributes to them and like put experience points in them. And then there's like some idols and things like that do different things, like provide an area of healing or do knockback or give you flame arrows or some shit like that. But really they lock down, like, because every character has the same basic attributes, there's no like specs, or there's no, spellcaster versus like your DPS guy. It's just, or healer. It's weird. It's not bad. I'm glad I didn't pay for it. I don't know that the $30 price tag is worth it. For kids, it's going to be fun, but I just don't know what the long-lasting appeal is there, because there's no reason to go back and grind, really.
But even for kids, if it's just numbers going up on your stuff that you're getting,
right? And that's,
is that really exciting to them? I don't know.
I mean, it was exciting for my son enough, because you like get the coin in the level, and you go like buy a blind box essentially from these two merchants. One gives you weapons, one gives you like the totems or whatever. And he enjoyed that enough, but I don't think he would enjoy it enough to go back through it again, right? Mm-hmm. Even at his age. It's very strange. And they allow up to 4 players, but I can't imagine that makes the game any more enjoyable. I watched him play probably 80% of it and just let him enjoy it, and I just kind of couch co-opted and talked him through things, but I don't know. Like, they really could have done so much more with that. And maybe they're planning to. Maybe they'll give it like the Minecraft treatment where it's just getting better and better all the time. But as of now, I have a hard time recommending that as like a purchase.
Really? Huh. Is it like cooldown? A lot of cooldown stuff too?
So yeah, there is some cooldown stuff. Not a ton of it. It mostly comes down to like your totems and like your attribute thing. You have 3 slots. And they all have like some sort of cooldown. And then you can get armor that will sometimes affect cooldown. Like, it will reduce it by like X percentage, but it's not as hampering as like a Diablo. I think they're a lot more forgiving in that cooldown period.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll try it out.
Yeah. I mean, it's on Game Pass already, you might as well. And then you can do it on Xbox One or PC. We did PC just because easier, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird that they, a new Minecraft game, and it's just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like, they captured the spirit, right? Like, you have the story is like weak as fuck, but they have all the enemies there. They're all in place. It's just strange that there's no ability for world destruction. Like, even through TNT, like, blocks don't blow up. Which I wish they would have done a little, like, they could have incorporated a little bit of destruction plus building to, like, give you more strategy, right? Like, you could have built a barricade. You could have built a turret, like, midfield. Like, that would have been cool. I just don't know how they didn't think about incorporating any of that.
Yeah, Minecraft would actually work pretty good as, like, a tower defense game.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of is when you think about it, but yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, all I keep thinking is, like, my son loves it, and I'm like, I've told him like 3 times, I'm like, we're going to play some Diablo 3, bud. Like, I'm going to get you going. We're going to do this. Like, you like this game? I can help you get into this thing. This is going to be fun. So that'll probably be my next adventure. He's still waiting on me to get another Xbox controller so we can play co-op through the last level, which I will have to do at some point. Controllers are hard to find, though, in stores when you go these days.
I got 3. I can drop one off.
Yeah. And I just want like a cheap, like, rock candy one for like $20 to plug into the USB, because that's what I'm going to do with it.
Do you have 360?
I do, yeah.
That might work? Or
oh, really?
Do you need a dongle for that? I don't even remember.
I have one of those like USB recharger cords with the battery pack, so I might be able to do that. I'll try that.
That might work.
Yeah, I know the PS4 wouldn't. I tried the Wii U. It did not work. Or not the Wii U, but the Switch. The Switch did
That's
not work.
the life. Wii U on with PC, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, pretty all right. So, it's finicky. But it's Xbox Game Pass. I guess that makes sense, right?
It's a little off topic, but Giant Bomb had like this video where they went through the Wii U reveal. And rewatching that, it's amazing how almost every single thing in there wasn't on the console.
Yeah.
Never made it to the console. Wasn't a
like
thing.
Shooting the pirates on the ship and
yeah, there's so many things.
Yeah. We have a great idea for what this can do, and we're not going to do none of it.
Yeah.
I just think I think when I realized like Nintendo gave up was when they had that Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. And then it had the option from the start, like, do you just want to turn the tablet off? And like, yes. I'm like, well, but you're Nintendo. Like, what are you doing? I don't understand.
Yeah. Mario Kart had like a horn. That was it.
Yep. Yeah, some of the best uses were not even Nintendo. I think the best use I saw in that of games I played was Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, because like it had all the menu, it had all the inventory, it had the map.
Everything all in there.
Great. Yeah. But that wasn't Nintendo. And then like outside of Nintendo land, Nintendo didn't give a shit.
No.
Zombie U was really cool, if irrelevant. Yeah, you look at that console and you're like, is anyone going to care about that? And at this point, I can almost say like no, because 99% of what made it great is already on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Once they finally port Super Mario World 3D,
that's end. Yep, that's all of it.
It's done. Fuck I'm gonna smash my Wii U. It's over.
Yep.
I don't need that. Got Cat Mario on my Switch.
Which we'll see. We haven't heard anything from Nintendo yet either this year.
God, that's gotta happen. It's gotta happen. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they took them that Mario game.
I think all these companies are waiting for the world to become a better place to be able to announce things like that, but it doesn't seem like it's happening. So
maybe announce things to make the world a better place.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's a whole lot of nothing on the video game front this year.
It's been very, very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Besides TurboGrafx Minis and stuff like that. And Sega Micros.
Minecraft.
And Minecraft.
Yeah.
Anybody been playing anything new other than Minecraft Dungeons?
We've been playing a lot of Minecraft Standard.
Yeah. Getting into Redstone, making some things happen.
Yeah, a little bit. That's kind of where my brain's at with a lot of that stuff.
Nice.
But it's always
I've been
finicky.
playing a lot of Warzone. That's what I've been playing.
Yeah.
Well, not a lot. I mean, when I say a lot, I mean a match here or there. But that's kind of been a healthy alternative to Fortnite. I think Ryan and I have played a couple times. I've played with a couple other people. I love that. I love the graphics are awesome. The sound is amazing. I love that. Where I don't know, stealth is not a bad thing. You know, camping is not a bad thing. Like a lot of these other places or other games will be like, oh, he's a camper, he sucks. Like, it's okay to be stealthy. It's okay to do some sniping and stuff like that. And I kind of appreciate that. It's really kind of makes you play at your pace and builds the excitement a little bit more.
Yep. Not gonna lie, I heard like none of that. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll listen to it on the playback. I'm sure it was a very insightful anecdote that you contributed to the podcast. Technical difficulties, people. It's a real thing with a podcast. COVID also infects the internet. Fact.
Yeah, since we have to do this remotely now.
Yeah, now, of course. Yeah, COVID forced us. Like, jeez. Yes. Yeah, it's been a weird time for like new games. I just don't feel like I've gotten into much, even with, you know, being at home and COVID and like being where we live, right? Upper Midwest, like even in the midst of the pandemic, like it's finally, we had like 100-degree day on Monday, which was insane and sucked because it was like 60 up to that. I feel like this is the time of year that I think we can probably all agree that we play games less, or at least have less time to focus on them. So I've been spending more time outdoors and like getting projects done around the house and shit like that, and like get like a small pool that we inflated for my kids out in the driveway, actually, because I didn't want it to kill my grass. So now like I work in the garage is my home office during the pandemic, and like my kids are knocking on the door out there like 8:30 in the morning, like, can we swim? I'm like, it's 50 degrees out here. What are you doing? Like, I guess. Like, it's sure. It's cold. Aren't you cold? No. They swim for an hour and a half. It's nuts.
Wow.
So that's been my life. And then I have a giant fan out in the garage because I don't have AC to like make it through the day now. But then nobody can hear me during conference calls. So when I'm in like meetings for 4 hours in the afternoon, like it gets brutal out there.
Just do it in the pool next time.
Yeah, I literally opened a meeting with, I'm going to talk fast because it's hot in my garage and I have to turn my fan off. So let's do this. Yeah, that's what I should do. Move the computer closer to the pool. And then I could just be like, I can have the shirt on, you know, I'm business in the front, pool in the pants, right? And then, I don't have to go to the bathroom. That's solved. I mean, number one. I mean, two is use your discretion.
Yeah. That's when you turn the fan on.
Or the filter for the pool. Like, we're going to need a new cartridge on. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, so it's interesting because, like, I don't know how much new gaming I'll play or will play over the summer. Especially knowing that a lot of what we play is based on what we pick up as collectors and game hunters ourselves, and knowing that I'm certainly not going to garage sales. Well, there aren't as many to go to. Flea markets I'm not going to, so
yeah.
I'm probably not going to be getting a lot of new stuff in my collection to test out like I would normally be this time of year. Usually this would be like some of the hottest for like at least trying new games, but
yeah. Yeah, this is the collector opener, and it's pretty much been a no-go this year.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a big flea market open in our area, and I don't think none of us went, right?
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
And Memorial Day is the big one. Like, that's when everything happens. You got to get out there.
Yeah.
Get out there early, and we didn't go. So.
It would have been interesting to see how many people were there, though.
Yeah, Nate reported his parents saw a ton.
Really?
It was packed, which is sad to see.
I just don't get it.
Well, you know, that area, that Lakes area, a lot of those people are coming from our city and other places for a weekend, and then they turn around and go right back. So not good to, I don't know. It's just not good to see it that packed in the midst
that's exactly
of what's going on.
If you were gonna do it, let's say it was packed with locals. That's one thing. Like, yeah, you're literally, like you're saying, like you're getting it packed with people from all over the upper Midwest coming there just for their lake cabin for the weekend. And they're all high-fiving and sharing beers and bodily fluids. That's not where I meant to go with that, but just tack it in there. So yeah, I don't know. It's probably safe, right? Like it's probably completely safe, but I haven't worked this hard at like isolating my family just to give it all up for a $5 NES game that I don't already own, I guess.
Or something. Let's be honest, flea markets are not super clean. The stuff that they bring aren't that clean. Your hands get pretty gross afterwards.
Yeah.
Not good.
Well, and I don't like that the one that we have in our area changed their logo and branding this year to flea market and art craft like fair thing. I'm like, screw you. Like, I don't need any more sundresses or fucking pickles. Like, just, I want people showing up with like a truckload of shit that they want to get rid of. Like, let me sift through it. Dicks. I don't know. That's been the disease at our local flea market the last like several years, is like that shift from like knick-knacky homemade foo-foo shit from like, I just bought out a storage unit and need to get rid of this. Like that dynamic has completely changed.
Yeah. Even the antique people are kind of gone.
Yeah. Or they're selling like Coca-Cola stuff for like $7,000.
Yeah. Those days are gone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts. I bet next year, though, next year is going to be the year for garage sales. Because people will be sitting on this stuff all the time, not selling it. It's probably a good time to go to flea market, or not flea markets, but thrift stores right now, too, which I'm also not going to do. But they're getting a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys see Limited Run posted? They're doing like Blaster Master 0, 1, and 2.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It is very cool, but it's super expensive. It's like $30 per standard release. And then, of course, they got their deluxe ones, which are like $60 per game. Then you can get the deluxe bundle, but that's $140. Or you can get the vinyl, which is like $80. Those are both really good games. You can acquire them digitally on the eShop for so much less.
They're like $10, aren't they, each?
Yeah, they're real cheap. And they're fun. I really like them, but I just can't. I don't know. Like the games that Limited Run has been choosing lately. And also, can I point out that I still haven't fucking received a shipping confirmation for my Small Brawl.
Oh my gosh.
Mall Brawl. Like, that's ridiculous. It's on the Wii U or the Switch eShop right now. Why hasn't my cartridge shipped?
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to ship in like December.
Yeah. They're pretty bad at that.
It's ridiculous.
Yep.
I contemplated like buying that game for $8 digitally just so I could play it. I know I have it coming. But those are great games. Like if you haven't experienced those Blaster Master 0, 1, and 2 and you're a physical collector, I can highly recommend both of those. They're both really good, but if you don't care about the physical, they're super cheap on the Switch.
Yeah, I would go with the digital on those because they're good for a few hours and then they're very repetitive, and
that's what I was gonna say. Is like you'll never go back to that, right? Like you're gonna beat it once and you're fine.
Yeah.
So much backtracking, even in the newer ones. They made it better, but there's a lot. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I just love that like someone dusted off Blaster Master after all these years, which is weird because that franchise has gotten like odd ports, right? Like there's sequels because there was one on the NES, 2 on the Genesis, which sucks. There was that weird one on the PlayStation, and then all of a sudden on the Switch it comes back.
Yeah. And that was Sunsoft, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't even know if they're a company anymore or what.
That's strange.
We're going to see Fester's Quest pretty soon.
I mean, I
Reboot.
wouldn't be opposed to that. The Sunsoft NES collection would be good. You ever beat that in the NES, Nate?
Which one?
Blaster Master?
No. I probably should spend some time with that. I haven't gotten too far in the game. It's great, but really haven't gotten far.
Yeah, it was one we used to play like a lot on sleepovers. Like I remember you get a bunch of people together and like, especially if you're someone who's only like seen it surface level, when you realize like you're getting out of the ship and you're doing these like on ground segments. It's an impressive game. It just felt so daunting as a kid. And then
a lot of backtracking.
And then the fact that like saving was spotty at best, and it was really ambitious though, really good.
Yeah, it's cool that that's the gameplay and not just a one-trick thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of a one-trick thing, have we ran out of our trick?
Oh, long time ago.
Oh boy, I think we need you, Nate.
You need me?
We need
Finally.
You.
Finally, I've been waiting for this moment. Actually, I don't know if I've been waiting for this moment. You want me? Are you asking me to take me out? Or take... What am I doing? All right, it's takeout time. I guess that's what the goal is and what we're doing. Friends, thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We are grateful. Make sure you send those complaints via email so that Ryan can retrack his statements again or whatever it is. So you can send those emails to weekendrentalpodcast@gmail.com. Make sure you're checking us out on all of our social medias. Weekend Rental PC on Twitter as well as YouTube and all things. You can find all things Weekend Rental at weekendpodcast.com. Be kind. Rewind.
Trudge micro.
Give me a micro nomad.
Yes.